The Barron's lecture series will continue to be flexible in terms of topics that are of interest to a variety of YouTube communities. One of the areas that we'd like to touch on is what we call Living Faith Summer Devotions. During the summer months, many families and individuals are spending vacation time traveling or at cottages or resort areas. During that time, regular church attendance falls off. And in fact, many local churches combine their services so that members of the clergy can have a well-earned summer break themselves. I will present an 8-week summer devotion series based on the book 52 Sundays, written after my first book entitled The Padre, which was a Canadian bestseller. The Padre highlighted the experiences of my father, the chaplain of the Irish Regiment of Canada, as described in the over 500 letters he sent home detailing his thoughts, feelings, and experiences during his World War II service with the Irish Regiment and their days in Italy, Belgium, and Holland. As a result of that book, I received many requests for my father's sermons. As a result, I selected 52 sermons, one per Sunday, and presented them in a book entitled 52 Sundays, the cover of which you see on your screen. As I mentioned, each week during July and August, I will post one sermon per Sunday for those individuals of any age who enjoy hearing and reflecting on a short devotion during their holiday time. One need only to glance through the pages of a daily newspaper and listen to television or radio commentary to ascertain that society is finding it increasingly more difficult to maintain some semblance of sanity in the face of despair and disenchantment. When we turn to our institutions for relief, we find more often than not that they merely add to the confusion. In too many instances, that one institution designed to play a key role, the church, is not forthcoming with any clear or powerful direction. For some reason, there is an unwillingness to take a stand, to preach from a position of personal conviction. Far too often our pulpits have become sounding boards for theories of psychiatry, psychology, sociology, and the like. One almost has the feeling that biblical reference and teaching is viewed as primitive, crude, and unacceptable for presentation to a modern congregation. Sadly, the layman in the pew is left unsatisfied, hungry for substance, despondent that the one institution capable of providing the focus is too busy chasing other windmills. David Parsons Roland was a compassionate, caring pastor. He was a man of conviction, deep faith, and vision. He practiced what he preached, believing that with God all things are possible. He was a man of action, full of enthusiasm, determination, with a great sense of humor. He put his hand to the plow, there was no turning back. Throughout his ministry, he preached the good news in simple, direct terms that afforded the listener a bearing in the struggle to answer those questions of faith, daily living, family, relationships, life as a whole. 52 Sundays from the pulpit of the Padre is in part a response to the many requests for copies of David Roland's sermons and addresses. Selecting has not been an easy task. The aim is to highlight his philosophy, objectives, and beliefs. Faith, conviction, and commitment tie the component parts together. Sermons are meant to be preached. They are designed to influence one's thinking, actions, and life. How unfortunate it is that once delivered, the tendency is to put them away to gather dust. If in fact sermons have more than transitory value, then we have an obligation to preserve them and make them available to those in each generation who, although they may face different problems and struggle with burdens unique to their time, require the same answer. This book has been designed to complement the reader's religious education. It follows a weekly pattern, beginning with the study of Christian stewardship. I trust that each selection, in its own way, will provide food for reflection, a guidepost for living, a bearing to assist us as we navigate our course through the journey of life. David Parsons Rowland was born in Dublin, Ireland in 1908 and came to Canada with his family as a young man. When engaged in a series of manual occupations, he heard the call to the Christian ministry. He graduated from Knox College in Toronto in 1935 and was ordained by the Presbytery of Toronto on May the 21st, 1935. While attending college, he was greatly interested in athletics and played for the Knox College and University of Toronto soccer teams. In 2023, Dr. Rowland was inducted into the Hall of Fame, recognizing his athletic accomplishments and dedication to building soccer within the university. While still a student at college, he organized a congregation at York in 1934 and was called and inducted as its first minister on June 8, 1936. In 1938, the first phase of the church building was opened and dedicated. When World War II broke out, he resigned from his congregation to accept a commission as chaplain of the Irish Regiment of Canada, with which he went overseas and shortly thereafter attained the rank of major. He was decorated with the Military Cross for bravery and mentioned in dispatches. When war ceased, he returned from active service and was again called by York Presbyterian Church, the induction taking place on April 4th, 1946. Through his suggestion, the name of the congregation was changed from York Presbyterian Church to York Memorial Presbyterian Church as a tribute to Canada's war dead. Major Rowland continued to take a keen interest in the Irish Regiment, and he was chaplain of the Peace Unit until the time of his death in 1965. He was also chaplain of the Silverthorn Branch 57 of the Royal Canadian Legion and the 36th Ulster Division, Old Comrades Association. In addition, he was a member of the Masonic Order, served 2 terms as Deputy Reeve for York Township, and for some years was a member and chairman of the Parole Board of Ontario. Through his capable and zealous leadership, the congregation grew rapidly, and the present beautiful church edifice was opened and dedicated on March 9, 1952. Throughout his ministry, he laid emphasis on the youth of the community, with the result that the congregation opened and dedicated in 1957 the Christian Education Building, which was named the David Parsons Youth Center as a tribute to his excellent leadership and service. The same year, Knox College honored him by conferring on him the degree of Doctor of Divinity honoris causa, and the CBE honored his commitment to the community and youth in the short film The Maybe Kid. While Dr. Rowland was active in community and fraternal affairs, his congregation and the Presbyterian Church in Canada always had first call upon his time. He served on many boards and committees of the church. He was chairman of the church's chaplaincy committee and also of the chaplaincy committee of the Canadian Council of Churches. He was the first moderator of the Presbytery of West Toronto. Dr. David Rowland will not soon be forgotten. Wherever his work took him, he was always devoted to the cause of Christ, whether on the playing field, the battlefield, in the fraternal lodge, council chamber, the congregation, of the church at large. He enlisted the lives and services of men and women in the work of the kingdom. Multitudes of people can testify that he was behind many of the good things that happened to them. He was an ardent Christian, a wise counselor, a loyal friend, and a kindly pastor.